From New York 1 News, this is New York Tonight.
People living with HIV and AIDS continue to get help from new drugs and medical research, but doctors at one New York hospital say when it comes to finding new treatments, minorities are often left out. New York 1 health and fitness reporter Beth Drexel has more.
More than a decade ago, Ronald Spalding was diagnosed with HIV. With few resources, he says if he wasn't involved in clinical trials, he wouldn't know about the drugs that could be saving his life.
Clinical trials is what the one keeps me well informed on what I can have, what I should not have, and how. And the clinic was a great help in him.
For the past 20 years, researchers at Beth Israel Medical Center, where Spalding is involved in clinical trials, have been working on and finding ways to improve the lives of people living with HIV and AIDS. But they say when it comes to finding new patients throughout the country, minority participation is low.
The clinical trials representation ought to mirror the face of the epidemic today. It mirrors more closely the face of the epidemic 15 years ago in terms of the percentage participation. It is largely the gay white male represented in the clinical trials population rather than the underrepresented racial and ethnic minorities that represent the face of the AIDS epidemic today.
In addition to their regular trials, researchers at Beth Israel have also been involved in something called Project ACT, taking a closer look at racial disparities in clinical trials and why they exist.
What we've learned is that individuals have a lot of mistrust of the medical community. On the other hand, there's a lot of willingness to learn about participating in clinical trials, and we found that the knowledge level of what clinical trials are is very, very low in this community.
So they've been focusing on interventions and outreach to draw a more diverse group of patients in. Something they say is starting to work and are hoping will continue to work, saying it's an essential tool in fighting the changing face of an epidemic.
If you don't collect the data in an organized way on the people that you want to treat with the drugs, then when the drugs are marketed, you don't have enough information to comfortably prescribe these drugs to your patients who are African Americans and Latinos or women.
In Manhattan, Beth Drexel, New York 1.